Hi there. This is my first video, as you can see. Welcome to BookSmartsMedia. My first video is going to be a review of Swan Song by Robert McCammon. Now, this book is not as well known as I wish it was. I think it's because he's such a diverse author. So, he's not my favorite author, but this is my favorite book. This book is specifically about the apocalypse. I know you've had enough of apocalypses in TV shows like The Walking Dead, and zombie apocalypses have been really popular lately, but this book is just a plain old apocalypse. It's different. You've seen movies recently, I know this isn't a movie, but you've seen movies recently like This Is the End that centered on the apocalypse, not just the horrific side of it, but the God side. You know, God, Jesus coming, most kind of not even close to the Bible, but the same basic idea, how it was going to be the second coming of Christ. This book doesn't revolve around Jesus at all as the Savior coming back. It's not the main idea of this book. There's a little bit of it in there, but not much. It's just kind of hiding. The pattern is really nice. It starts off covering different people's lives and how they deal with different stages. Like the beginning, where they're at before the bombs hit, when Russia and America go at each other. And it progresses to the first couple months just surviving, and then there's a section in here that goes years later, and it follows these groups of people that have consolidated into one or two, into few groups. They eventually kind of all connect. They all meet up, and you find out how they connect to each other. It's phenomenal. Robert McCammon's not a horror author like Dean Koontz or Stephen King. That's not his primary focus. I don't think he has much of a primary focus. I've only read one other of his novels, and I only got halfway through it. As much as I love this book, his other books are not for me. I read his book, The Boy's Life, and it was I didn't really get far into it. I kind of want to try reading it again, but it was realistic, but it wasn't like this. This just grabs you, and the apocalypse kind of stuff always gets me. I first read it when I was in 10th grade in high school, and it became my book since then. This is my second copy. I borrowed my mom's copy for a couple years, and I tore that thing up. I got this for Christmas one year after I fell in love with it. It went on a reprint, and my mom went and got it for me because she knew how much I loved it. I've torn it up a little bit, took it with me everywhere for a couple years. I've read it like 4 or 5 times. I really should have read it again before giving this review, but in a review, you're kind of giving your opinion and little basics of the book to kind of grab you. We're not going to give you the whole plot away. This is a big book with a lot of plot, and it's impossible to do for a book report, but it's a great read. Somehow you can read it all and it'll all stick in your head, but you can't talk about it to other people. It's just phenomenal. If you like the apocalypse stuff, try this. It doesn't have zombies in it, but does have a little bit of beauty, life, death, good versus evil. There's no Jesus, but there is the devil. It's really entertaining. It's really disgusting in some sense. It's horrific and it's magical. There's violence and death and gore and sexual scenes, so it's not a PG book. If books could have a rating, this would probably be an R or not rated rating, because that's what it is. There's so much little detail that is so important to the characters and how you feel about each and every one of them and how you feel about their lives through this time, this apocalypse, and they're complex. It's real. They're real people. They're not simple good and evil. There's good and evil in everybody except maybe the devil. There's complexities, and it's just something that you'll have to read. That's all I think I have to say on this. If you have any questions, you can leave me a comment in the bottom bar. I've always wanted to say that. And I guess, I don't know, subscribe to me if you want to hear more about books and movies. I plan on doing those too soon. Maybe my next video will be a movie video. And I hope to get some people watching that like more adult books. I see a lot of young adult booktubers, and I've read those books too, and I like them. But I don't get a lot of these on YouTube. I don't see a lot of adult books, adult fiction, adult nonfiction, but mostly adult fiction. So I am going to be reviewing and talking about and doing tags mostly about these because I feel like more people want to learn more about that somewhere, and YouTube is a good spot for it. So here's to that. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to go now. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.